Don't you think God gave you the addiction for a purpose?
Interesting. No, the alchemy. Yes, go alchemy right there.
That's your purpose.
That's big level sobriety, bro. That is big level spirituality. Let's jump off the deep end.
Why
were you an addict in the first place?
Because God gave it to you.
Yeah. The miracle of healing.
Yeah, it's like, I fucking nailed this. Yeah.
There's so much magic that takes place in order to be able to understand that, bro. I got sober with someone in Taos, powerful female that I was grateful to get sober with, and we also had there was an older gentleman in the mutual recovery group that was a little kind of like spiritual sandpaper. Nobody really liked him. And he was abrupt, and he kind of spoke in jokes, and he would say vulgar things, and it was very easy to judge him. It was very easy for people to get mad at him, and he used to say stuff like, "That's crazy. That's like a pregnant woman pole vaulting." Right, yeah. and he used to say, "Oh, that's worse than a hemorrhoid. You got that? It's worse than a hemorrhoid." And just vulgar stuff would come out of his mouth. Anyways, this girl that I got sober with, she hated him. She absolutely resented him, deplored him. She told me one time, when he speaks, I have a mental image of my head of jumping up on the table, ripping his head off of his body with his spine still attached, and then beating his lifeless body with his own head. That's what she told me. That's how much she hated this person.
That's a mirror. It's
yes,
just a mirror,
yes.
Yeah.
He was showing her parts of herself. Anyway, she was there. She'd been going for like 3 months, and she said she was with this elderly woman, and she was feeding her because she could no longer feed herself. She had Alzheimer's, and she was so far progressed in her Alzheimer's that she didn't remember how to feed herself. And she was basically spooning this gruel into her mouth, and some of it fell off of the spoon and landed on the elderly woman's hand. And my friend took a napkin and cleaned her hand, and the elderly woman grabbed her hand and just held it. And in that moment, their eyes locked, and she said that in that moment, she felt forgiven for what she had done to her grandma. And come to find out, this woman that she was feeding, well, that was the wife of the man that she wanted to pull his head off and beat him with it. And he would come every day to talk to his wife that didn't remember him anymore.
That's amazing.
And her hatred towards him was replaced with compassion and understanding, and she didn't want to hurt him anymore.
And this is what we're talking about right now. It requires humility, compassion, and an open heart. And I want to talk about this open heart thing, because we always think of addicts as being closed off. Like, yeah, because the addiction causes you that. The only emotion or feelings you have is when you're drinking, and then that's way off, because it's just the hurt talking, opening up. Mm-hmm. So for an addict to open their heart, it seems so vulnerable.
Yeah, absolutely.
And like in this story here, that there's a vulnerability there. It's like, I'm going to go volunteer for old people. Yeah. Like, my grandma's already dead. So sorry, I can go to her grave. Mm-hmm. I'll write a letter and burn it, and then, whatever. But to do this action like that, to make amends, it's like meditating, everything else. It's a spiritual practice.
Absolutely, yeah. It's changed behavior.
But it changed her heart. And love heals. It not being Republican or Democrat, not being I'm from France or I'm from Belgium. None of those things matter. What matters is having love towards yourself and towards others. Like that's the greatest commandment, to love thy neighbor as thyself.
So powerful, bro.
So and Jesus summed it all up right there.
Yeah.
Because those are the two things.